think you should.
Hello everyone, this is Chinmay from Make Auto Clinic. Welcome back to our Backlash Series 2 or Volume 2. Few days back, we have uploaded one video regarding the backlash. That was actually regarding the, what is actually backlash that I wanted to, show you. Now, how do you set that? There are some steps basically. It is not like just keeping the keeping those cams, or installing those cams on the spindles and put the cams in the, timing and everything, and put adjust those spindles according to, the distance and all. It is not only one thing. There are some other things which you should, think about. You have to take care of it before setting up the backlash. First of all, if your engine is CI or AVL engine, so remove the either you remove the your push rods, or just keep the distance small. The push rods have got, manual adjustments, so keep those push rods away from the tappets at first place. So the load, whatever the load is there, which is coming from the top side, that is from your walls, so the spring load will be not there. Remember, in any engine, even if it is CI engine, AVL engine or UC engine, you have to keep those cams under offload condition. Offload in the sense there should not be any push rods. So in CI or AVL engine, you can keep the you can change the distance of push rod because there is a manual adjustments over there. But in UC engine, you can't do because there is no adjusters. So in UC engine, you will have to remove the rockers and the push rods from the top. And in CI engine, AVL engine, you have to change the distance, or you have to keep the push rods just away from the tappets by changing the distance of the push rod. Now, after that, when those push rods are away from the tappets, now what is the next procedure? Now the next procedure is very simple. Remove those cams from the spindles. Put the machine again, the timing mark like crank has to be at almost say 2 o'clock position or 2.5 position, almost like that, say. Then when you have removed both the cams, right? Now you have to make the spindle sleeve loose, both the sleeves, of course, not single sleeve. So first you have to install the exhaust cam, do the timing, synchronize exhaust timing mark with the either timing pinion if it is CI or AVL. If it is UC engine, then with the crank. After that, just set the crank, the backlash in between crank and the cam, exhaust cam, right? By, as I said, as I showed you before, with the by adjusting the spindle, by rotating the spindles basically. So that will synchronize with the crank gear. It will change the distance. It will, that cam will come very much near to the crank. Now, what is next? Is that the only one step? No, it is not actually. The next step is basically you have to rotate the engine quarterly. You have to check the distance in between crank and exhaust cam quarterly. Every quarter you have to check. Now how? I'll show you. So these are the cams basically. As I said, let's consider, now this is the engine, this is the spindles. I have kept the, now I have set this, I'll just keep this crank, this is the crank now. So as you can see, okay, now the distance is less. Here the distance is extra. So here now the distance is less. So I'm going to tighten that nut, right? This is almost 2 o'clock conditions, right? I'm keeping the crank here, and then I'm going to keep on rotating this cam, exhaust cam, quarterly. So this side, right? Just adjusted according to timing condition. Now this quarters I have calculated according to timing now. So this is your 6 o'clock position, 3 o'clock position, 12 o'clock position and 9 o'clock, right? So first is, let's consider 6 o'clock. Is there any here? Now is there any what do you say, the backlash is here? No, right now, because I have adjusted according to this. So then let's try this position now. Is there any backlash? No. Then I'll check this point. Is there any backlash? No. I may find there is one small backlash here. So again, you have to adjust little bit, right? So you have to keep on adjusting first for quadrant, right? So there is no backlash, right? So I have checked everywhere. It was here earlier. Let's consider this is the crank. Now the cam, this exhaust cam was here. There was no backlash. Then I rotate. I came to first 6 o'clock position. There is no backlash. I came to 3 o'clock position. There is no backlash. And then I came to 12 o'clock position. There is small backlash. I will just readjust the cam again and I'll tighten this nut. There is no backlash. Then I'll come to 9 o'clock position. There is no backlash. Then I'll come to 6 o'clock position again. See, there is no backlash. That means you have done the job perfectly well. In CI engine and AVR engine, you have to keep the distance a little bit perfect side, not over tight, perfect, right? So in UC engine, you have to keep it little bit loose, not tight, right? That is the perfect benchmarking for UC engine. For benchmarking for CI and AVL engine is actually absolutely perfect tight, not over tight, not loose. In UC engine, let's consider loose. That means it is perfect for the UC. Now this I have done with the exhaust cam. Offload, there is no load. Now in my older videos you must have seen that I am again resetting one more time, but where? So when the cam is basically coming toward this side, now which side? See, there is a cam lobe over here that is near to say 10 o'clock or 10:30 position here. How? I'll show you. This is the cam lobe. Now if the cam is rotating like this way, right? Like this, right? This is the 9 o'clock position. If I'm saying, if the rotation is like this way, so if the cam is over here, that means at that time the valve, the exhaust valve, is going to come under load when the push rods are placed in its own place, area. So at that time, the push rods are going to push the valves. So it's going to go inside the chamber, not an issue. It's going to have a lot of tension. So again, when we are loading those springs, these springs are going to get unload. That means at this point. That means at this point. So my previous videos you must have seen that I have done the setting of my backlash over here. Reason, after checking the quarter, all the quarters, you have to what happens actually when there is a backlash. Because of the backlash, what happens to the cams? Why we need to reset? Because of the torque, basically this is round, right? Earlier when we have the machine in our hand, brand new machine or brand new cams, this comes in circular. Absolutely, the periphery, there is no problem. There is no egg shape, no eclipse or something. When we start using the machine, this becomes little bit eclipse, or let's say egg shape, anda, right? So in egg shape, what happens? Both the axes are different. So changing of the or resetting of the backlash means we are trying to find out nearby position, right? Exactly nearby position. So here is the torque is absolutely high, and second thing, this is the unloading point. That means the springs are going to get unloaded. If I rotate like this, then this position is coming. This position has got no loading. This is not loading point, but these are the loading points. These are loading and these are unloading. Depends on which cam we are talking about, right? So here in this condition, these are unloading condition. So if I am rotating the cam, there is no load. At that time, there will be hardly some backlash, right? But at this point, like at this point and this point, backlash is very high. So that is the reason I showed that video. But now I am explaining more detailed way. So when after checking the quarters, let's consider again like this way. I'm checking the quarter way. So I'm checking all the quarter way, everything is fine. I found there is no backlash and everything. Now this is the loading point. The cam lobe is over here. If you look at this, so cam lobe is here. Now loading, unloading. So that means this is unloading. Now you have to check the backlash over here first. So you have to check the backlash over here. This is my main point. When you check all the 4 quarters, if you find nothing, that doesn't mean that you are done. Basically, in my video, my previous videos, I have showed you at the time of unloading you have to set the backlash. This is the main crucial point because there is a torque over there. So similarly, you have to set the inlet cam. Now, since we have set the, let's consider now we have done the backlash of the exhaust cam with the crank properly. There is no problem. And we have checked the loading unloading points as well. So we have set the backlash of this exhaust cam on unloading point. Now I'm going to put the inlet cam. I'm going to install the inlet cam. Of course, without lubrication, don't do that. So now we are going to set the inlet cam with the exhaust. My previous video, volume 1, series 1. In that case, what I mentioned that you have to adjust the exhaust cam with the crank, right? Since it is the crank is connected to the exhaust, so obviously you have to go like that way. This is the step from pinion to exhaust cam, exhaust to inlet cam. Now I have done the setting of exhaust cam. Now I have to do the setting with this. I mean the follow the setting for inlet cam. Same way, there is no difference, right? Now in this case, for exhaust cam there was a crank. Now for inlet cam there is a exhaust cam, right? Now I'm going to set the backlash in between exhaust and inlet. How? Again, I have removed the push rods from the vehicle. CI engine, AVL engine, UC engine, not a problem. Now, when I am rotating those cams, see, I have done the setting of this. If I am considering 3 o'clock, then the loading point of the inlet cam is over here, 3 o'clock. Unloading point is at almost 10 o'clock or 10:30 or something like that. So at that time, without the push rod, you have to set the inlet cam with the exhaust. See, as you can see, the distance is varying, right? So this is the minimum point which I found, right? But in this case also, you have to check when the timing, these cams are in timing, you have to check all 4 quadrants as well. Like first of all, here, no, okay, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here. So I have to keep on rotating everything. Now what to do? Once you check the quadrant, then you can check with the lobe. Now the lobe is over here, right? This is the lobe. So the lobe is actually coming down back to the normal position. So unloading is done over here. See, loading like this. Now unloading is over here. So I will be setting up my inlet cam on unload I mean the position where the lobe is offloading the tension of the spring, right? So at this point, I'm again going to reset those cams. These are the absolute detailed talk what I'm telling you. These are very, nobody shares such kind of, information even on YouTube, because after all, trade secret. But there are so many videos I have seen that they are giving, kind of information which is not related to your tick 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 sound or the cam backlash. The sound what you get from the machine, there are so many factors you have to think about. It is not only backlash, or it is not only your cams or tappets. Tappets will hardly go on toss. There is no problem at all with the tappets, right? So please don't change the tappets. First of all, set the cam properly, and then you will get the result properly without hampering and without changing lots of spares. So when you set these cams, after that there is only one thing left. The oil pump ring has to be replaced all the time whenever you are removing the magnet cover, because if the oil pressure is less, then tappets will make sound, because tappets are based on hydraulic, of course. So engine oil has to be there, and it has to be immersed all the time. It has to be immersed in engine oil, otherwise it will make sound. So that doesn't mean cams are having problem, right? You may be having less pressure, less oil, or no oil which is supplied to the hydraulic tappets. So thanks for watching. Stay connected, subscribe my channel, and enjoy all the technical information. Thank you very much.